Hello guys, welcome back to our Anime Explainer. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. Kanglan Star, Luo Feng's group's spaceship, just arrived and was guided towards the docking area. Now we can only rely on our own flight. It'll be fast. With our speed, we'll arrive in a few minutes. Luo Feng smiled as he headed towards the flourishing city with the other four Thunder City. Thunder City didn't always have that name. It's just that the world that the Sector Lord created was discovered in Thunder City. And the Sector Lord's world was famous for its thunder. So it was named World of Thunder. We've arrived at Thunder City. Luo Feng and the other four descended. In the city, flying cars could be seen all over the place. Many people could be seen flying by themselves too. The Universe Mercenary Alliance area is 30 kilometers away. In that direction, Thunder God lowered his head and looked at the map that appeared on the mini-quantum computer. And then it pointed towards the southeastern direction that corresponded with this star's magnetic field. After that, Luo Feng and the others swiftly headed towards the Universe Mercenary Alliance's area. The Sector Lord's world was located in that area. The Universe Mercenary Alliance area was also constructed after the discovery of the Sector Lord's world. Luo Feng and the other four entered the Universe Mercenary Alliance area. If you guys keep going this way, the villa on your way that is heavily surrounded is the World of Thunder. A worker at the area pointed towards the distance. This area was extremely empty, and yet a huge number of guards encircled the isolated buildings. World of Thunder. Villa. The group looked towards the villa. The worker smiled and laughed. The great Sector Lord that created the World of Thunder back then probably lived in Thunder City in seclusion. He purchased a villa and created the World of Thunder inside it. From the outside, who could tell that this villa contained a world that was even larger than the entire Kanglan Star. However, after countless years, the villas around it have become rubble. Luo Feng nodded and then smiled as he gave his thanks. Thanks. Let's go. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, and the other two directly headed towards the villa in the distance. The villa was securely guarded. Suddenly the guards actually swiftly let out a path. A man with a 1-star medal on his chest walked out and raised his head to look at the sky. The guards beside him were extremely respectful. It seems like this universe mercenary is some sort of leadership figure. What's going on? Luo Feng was a bit surprised. Look, a spaceship is flying towards here in the sky. Thunder God pointed towards the sky. Other than Luo Feng's group, quite a few people who have arrived at the Universe Mercenary Alliance area also raised their heads to look. From a distance, a spaceship appeared in the sky above them in virtually a flash. It hovered there without moving. The hatch opened. After that, around 20 young men and women appearing to be of various races came out. Mr. Zhou Wei, the Universe Mercenary, came forward. Out of the 20 young men and women that flew down, one of them was an extremely handsome guy who was wearing a purple battle uniform set. On his chest hung a 2-star medal. I'm just bringing some of my subordinates rookies to take the trainee test. A head like you didn't have to come personally greet me. Mr. Zhou Wei saved me back then. How can I not appear when you come? Smiled the Universe Mercenary. After that, he looked at the group of young men and women. These are the rookies from the Black Cloud Guild. They all seem quite good. Haha, there are a few good seedlings within this batch of rookies, smiled the purple-shirted man as he nodded. After that, the purple-shirted man scanned across the group of young people as he ordered. I won't say any more about the dangers of the Universe Mercenary trainee exam. I just hope that I will be able to see you guys at the Black Cloud Guild. All of you hurry into the Sector Lord's world now. Yes, Chief Instructor. The group of young people respectfully heeded the order. After that, they naturally split into 4 squads. Each squad had star level 2 and 3 stages, and also had star level 8 and 9 stages. The 4 squads swiftly entered the villa. The villa wasn't even that big. But it seemed like the 20 people entered a bottomless hole. The purple-shirted man seemed like a venomous snake to regular people. He naturally made people feel fear. Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, and the other two didn't dare to approach at such a time, and just stayed in the crowd in the distance. The Black Cloud Guild. What is this Black Cloud Guild they were talking about? Sounds of discussions carried around the surrounding crowd. What's the Black Cloud Guild? Luo Feng also looked towards Hong and Thunder God. Don't know. Master. We don't know either. Aogu and Tainan he both shook their heads. Suddenly, the sounds of discussions to the side attracted Luo Feng's group's attention. This Black Cloud Guild is one of the 4 large organizations of our Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Our Black Dragon Mountain Empire controls the entire Black Dragon Mountain region, which contains about 8,000 galaxies. Of course, the most powerful organizations are the 2 large sacred lands. Below them are the 4 large organizations and the 16 large families. What are the 2 sacred lands? You don't even know that. The 2 sacred lands are Black Dragon Mountain and Holy Sea of Frost. It has been said that undying beings were the ones that created the 2 sacred lands. They have quite a few sector lords in them too. Each of the 16 families have at least 1 sector lord. Sector lords have the ability to destroy the skies and earth and to create their own world. Of course, either of the 2 sacred lands can easily destroy the 16 families. If Black Dragon Mountain, Holy Sea of Frost, and the 16 families belong to the government, then the 4 large organizations are organizations belonging to the people. They have been around tens of thousands of years. Some of their elders from back then have even entered the Ganwu Empire. Luo Feng and the others were completely focused on the discussions around them. So that was how the powers in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire were divided. The 2 sacred lands, the 4 large organizations, and the 16 families. Luo Feng, here is some detailed information on the powers in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Barbata's voice sounded in Luo Feng's mind. Suddenly, large amounts of information appeared on Luo Feng's arm guard. While Luo Feng lowered his head to look at it, he sent the information to Hong, Thunder God, Aogu and Tainan He. After looking closely, Luo Feng was shocked. The root of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire were the 2 sacred lands, Black Dragon Mountain, and Holy Sea of Frost, the government's strongest power. And for the people were the 4 large organizations. Their power spreads over 1,000 galaxies, and each organization has a group of sector lord level fighters. In terms of power, they definitely cannot be underestimated. And the background behind the 4 large organizations even extend to the ultra-powerful higher-ups in the Ganwu Empire. So maybe the 4 large organizations aren't as strict as the 2 sacred lands. But in terms of fighting power, they are virtually equal. What? Nuolan Shan is part of 100 Tigers building of the 4 large organizations. Luo Feng was shocked. In the information Barbata gave was some information about Nuolan Shan and the 100 Tiger building. After reading, Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. He's only an extremely basic member of the 100 Tiger building and doesn't have much authority. The 4 large organizations can definitely cause a huge commotion in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. If the Nuolan Shan family is a droplet of water, then any of the 4 large organizations are a limitless, raging sea. Because they are so powerful and have such a huge background, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire can only silently accept their existence. Nuolan Shan has such a huge background. Thunder God was shocked. At the same time, he used his genetic energy to form a soundproof barrier. He's only a basic member in the 100 Tigers building, and not a high-ranking authority, said Hong. 100 Tigers building, one of the 4 large organizations. A Universe Level 9 stage fighter is indeed a basic member. 3 Axe Mountain, 100 Tiger Building, Black Cloud Guild, North Dragon Castle are extremely powerful in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Luo Feng fantasized about him becoming a high-ranking authority in one of those organizations. With one command of his, the entire Nuolan Shan family will directly become rubble and thousands of planets will surrender to him. What are you fantasizing about? Power is the most important thing. Once you become as powerful as your master, one word from you can make the entire Black Dragon Mountain Empire shake in fear, yelled Barbata. Who gives a shit about the sacred lands? Your master had 9 undying beings under him. Luo Feng laughed. In front of Yunmo Planet's master, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire had to lower their heads. But to Luo Feng, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire was still a huge being. We are here to participate in the Universe Mercenary Trainee Exam. Luo Feng and the others stood in front of the villa. Beep. A scanner scanned across Luo Feng's group. Only after the guards heard the beep did they nod, enter. Clearly, the identity of Luo Feng's group has just been verified. A wide garden. In the middle of the garden was a normal 3-story villa. In front of the door to the villa stood 2 black-clothed women with cold expressions on. One of the black-clothed women looked at Luo Feng's group and said seriously, "Adventurers, I'm sure you all know about the dangers in the world of the Sector Lord. You can still back out now." "No need, open the door," said Luo Feng. Creak. One of the black-clothed women directly pushed open the door to the villa. The world of the Sector Lord is on the 2nd floor of the villa. Luo Feng's group poured in the building and entered the main lobby. After that, they went up the stairs to the 2nd floor. All of the rooms on the 2nd floor were quite normal. except a woman with a purple mark in the shape of a flower stood in front of one of the room's door. The woman saw Luo Feng's group and directly pulled open the door. Instantly, flowing lights poured out of the room. Luo Feng's group held their breath as they watched. The flowing lights were like foam, so Luo Feng's group couldn't see into the room. "Go in, this is the world of thunder," said the woman coldly. "Okay." Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, Aogu, and Tainan He exchanged glances, and then all of them extended their hands. All of them held hands, because if they don't, they will all be transported to different locations in the world of thunder. The world of thunder. Go in. Tainan He was the first one to enter the flowing lights, after that was Thunder God, Luo Feng, Hong, and then finally Aogu. Without a sound, the five of them entered the flowing lights and completely disappeared. The woman in front of the room closed the door once again. The stars turned and time passed. It was still sunny before outside the villa, incomparably crowded and bustling at the Universe Mercenary Alliance base. Within the blink of an eye, it became night. Rumble. 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 Tainan He, Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God and Aogu had just entered the world of thunder, immediately dropping at a shocking speed. The five quickly controlled their internal miniature planets to change their surrounding gravitational pull, but it was still too late. Following the sounds of 5 heavy crashes into the floor, Luo Feng and his group stood up from the ground. That hurt. Luo Feng quickly stood up. "This surface, is it covered with nails?" Thunder God too stood up. The 5 stood up and began to survey their surroundings. It was a pitch-black world. Only in the distant high sky was there a glimmer of light, the only thing that kept the world from being totally pitch dark. Below them was an endless and vast black desert. Hong squatted down shocked. "This is from the books we bought, the renowned Death Desert." "It is indeed a desert." Luo Feng picked up a handful of sand. The sand grains were a dark blue color. At first glance it looked black. Every grain was very heavy. Its density was definitely at least 100 times that of Earth's iron. The grains even had a faint sense of magnetism, causing them to all stick together. When they fell earlier, all they left were little dents in the sand. The world of thunder, its gravitational force is 3,900 times that of Earth's. Hong emphasized, because the entire world is made from the energy of the universe, which the Sector Lord used to create it. The entire world's foundation is the universe crystal. Its soil, sand, rocks, etc. are all affected by the universe energy's influence, much more special than those outside. It's indeed special. Every grain is very heavy. Luo Feng nodded. It's indeed extravagant. To build such a big world, just how much universe energy is needed? Thunder God couldn't help but say. Universe energy. Once one reached the Sector Lord level, one would be able to unleash unbelievable energies. When these energies solidify, they become universe crystals. Universe crystals are actually classified as currency within the universe. This isn't like the silver blue dollars, the black dragon dollars, or the Ganwu dollars and even the currencies from other empires, but the universe energies solidifying to form. Hence, it was usable in any universe country, between any race. The gravitational pull is too strong, even my spirit reading has been affected. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. What's your scanning area now? Thunder God asked. Not even 1,000th of what I can do on Earth. Luo Feng said. A star traveler level 1 spirit reader, on Earth, can spread his spirit reading up to a 1 kilometer area. A star level 1 can spread it over a 100 kilometers area. Yet, Luo Feng was a star level 2 spirit reader, in the Sector Lord's world where the gravitational pull was 3,900 times of Earth's. His area wasn't even 100 meter. My spiritual force can't even spread out to a radius of 1,000 meters, the old Aogu said. The Death Desert is one of the world of thunder's most dangerous territories. Hong said, and right now it's late night over here. I can't pinpoint direction accurately. However, the longer one stays in the Death Desert, the more dangerous it gets. We have to set off immediately, randomly choose a direction, and proceed with the quickest of speeds. The Death Desert, one of the forbidden areas of the world of thunder, even the wild beasts didn't dare live here, right? Let's quickly set off. Thunder God added, then this direction, let's move. Luo Feng randomly picked a direction. Suddenly Luo Feng and his group floated up. Despite the incredibly high gravitational pull, it wasn't powerful enough to stop a star-level warrior from being able to fly. Of course. Because of the strong pull, their flying speed was much slower than before. After flying for 5 minutes, Luo Feng and his group continued to swiftly fly through the Death Desert. Suddenly, the team's strongest spirit reader Aogu creased his eyebrows. Master, something doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right. Luo Feng looked at Aogu. Look behind us. Thunder God shouted, behind. Luo Feng, Hong, Tainan He and Aogu turned to look. It was a huge sandstorm that swallowed everything, a pitch-black wall of sand moving towards them at a shocking speed. At the same time below the storm, there was a group of young men and women fleeing for their lives. It's the Death Dust Storm. Aogu's face went pale. It's the Death Dust Storm, quickly flee. Thunder God also shouted, quickly, quickly, quickly. Hong was also flustered. Rumble. The five quickly fled with their greatest speed, and under the worry and anxiousness of Aogu, he grabbed onto the slowest flyers Hong and Thunder God and flew. Luo Feng stood on his soaring shuttle, flying at about the same speed as Aogu, dragging along the other two. Luo Feng and his group had bought a book that had recorded the dangers of the world of thunder. The Death Dust Storm was one of them. The Death Dust Storm was one of the three great dangers of the Death Desert. It came without any warning, without any pattern. It just came suddenly, engulfing both land and sky. It made it impossible for one to dodge or hide. Many earlier generations with experience had warned the later generations. Facing the Death Dust Storm, drilling below the storm is suicide. Flying as high as possible is also suicide. The only way was to race against it. If the Death Dust Storm disperses before it catches up to you, then you'll live. We just entered this world of thunder and we encounter the Death Dust Storm. Just what the hell is this? Thunder God cursed. Look, behind us. It looks like one of the 4 Black Cloud Guild groups from before that entered ahead us. One of the 4 groups. Luo Feng poured his spirit energy into his soaring shuttle, maintaining his maximum speed. Luo Feng turned to look behind. There was indeed a small team of young men and women being chased down madly by the huge wall of sand. Looking at their uniforms, they were indeed one of the 4 groups that had entered the world of thunder just before Luo Feng and his group, a group from the Black Cloud Guild. There were a total of 6 of them madly trying to flee, 4 men and 2 women. Flee. Madly fleeing. The Death Dust Storm gradually grew closer and closer to the Black Cloud Guild group. The group's last member was a thick and sturdy man, with a single horn on his head. He roared out in rage. The Death Dust Storm finally touched this man, immediately engulfing him and twirling him into the storm. Under the whirlwind of the universe energy-infused sand grains, this man seemed to almost be like going through a meat grinder. The battle uniform he was wearing was immediately torn apart. Large amounts of fresh blood and meat, bones were scattered all about. Quickly escape. Quickly. This little group from Black Cloud Guild's other 5 members had malevolent expressions. In the face of death, they all exploded with their fastest speeds. And in front of this little group, a few kilometers away, was Luo Feng's little team. They were all so shocked they began to move even faster. Quick, 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 hurry and escape. Don't let the Death Dust Storm catch up. Damn, this Death Dust Storm is too scary. It actually produced such a strong storm. I can guarantee, even those underground in the Death Desert would be affected by its powerful whirlwind force. No wonder the books said that even drilling underground would mean death. Thunder God was extremely anxious, but seeing as there was nothing else to do, after all, he and Hong were both being carried by the spirit reader Aogu. Aogu alone was carrying both of them, Luo Feng on his soaring shuttle, and Tainan He flying alone. Their speed was indeed quick. Behind them, the Black Cloud Guild team lost another 2 slower members, and finally the Death Dust Storm began to slowly slow down and descend. The sky-reaching torrent began to lower. Obviously this Death Dust Storm was reaching its end. We've managed to escape one danger. Luo Feng took a sigh of relief. Look, the Black Cloud Guild group is left with only 3 people. A star level 9 spirit reader, and 2 star level 2 and 3 youths. Thunder God looked at the 3 that were swiftly approaching them. Amongst the 3, a star level 9 man was stepping on a round disc, carrying the 2 youths. Very normal. Luo Feng too looked at the distant 3 people. The Black Cloud Guild would have organized the teams. Every little team will always have a star level 9. The star level 9 member will play the job of a nanny. The ones who are really here to train and take the exam is the star level 2 and 3 youths. These are the real later generation elites of the Black Cloud Guild. The 3 of them deliberately lengthened their distance from Luo Feng's group and headed in another direction away from them. This sudden Death Dust Storm had caused their team some major losses. Even though Luo Feng's team hadn't had any losses, they didn't dare relax even a little. After about another half an hour of flying, Master, there's a large mountain range ahead. Tainan, his sunken eyes could see into the distance, spotting the unremarkable mountain range. We've discovered mountain ranges. Luo Feng and his group increased their speed. As said, a long continuous mountain range that exceeded one's line of sight appeared before them. On this mountain range there were even large numbers of trees and plants. Compared to the Death Desert, this mountain range seemed to be filled with vitality. It's really a mountain range. Hong lowered his head and looked at the quantum computer, saying, "Second and third brother, according to the map, I think we should have reached Long Suo Mountain Range." Long Suo Mountain Range. Thunder God rushed into the sky, flying to a high point, carefully examining the outline of the mountain range, looking at some of its special points, before lowering his head to look at the quantum computer. This should be the middle point between the Death Desert and the Long Suo Mountain Range. The distance from here to one of our destinations, Demon Moon River, is about 16,000 kilometers away. Demon Moon River was situated within the Long Suo Mountain Range. It was a 100 kilometers wide river. As there were large amounts and plentiful water sources, there were many species of ferocious beasts that gathered around the river. One of them was the horned iron rhino. The horn of the horned iron rhino was one of this test's required items. Big brother, second brother, we have to be even more careful in this Long Suo Mountain Range. The elements are the dangerous part of the desert, but in this mountain range, with many mountains and trees and plants, there are ferocious beasts about and many other participants of the test. There are many incidents of killing between humans and the beasts along with the other participants here. Luo Feng warned them. Understood. Hong and Thunder God nodded. In terms of danger, the Long Suo Mountain Range was the true danger. Of course, within the world of thunder, Demon Moon River wasn't the only place with the horned iron rhino herd. There were other places about that had them. However, Demon Moon River was the closest location out of all the places. Be careful of humans, be careful of this sector Lord World's natural dangers, especially the lightning. If there are any signs of lightning, immediately distance yourself from wherever the lightning may hit. Luo Feng remembered from the books they bought about the introduction of the place. The most treacherous and terrifying natural danger of the entire world of thunder was lightning. This world was called the World of Thunder. Mainly because the lightning of this world was too scary, far exceeding any other natural dangers. The moment one was struck, even a weaker domain lord would immediately be turned to dust. Star level. There was absolutely no chance of survival. Long Suo Mountain Range, danger was concealed everywhere. There are ferocious beasts 18 kilometers to the right. 3 o'clock direction, 19 kilometers ahead there are beasts. Luo Feng calmly reported each and every figure. The entire little team was proceeding with shocking speed. This level of progress speed was something a large majority of teams in the Long Suo Mountain Range couldn't imagine. Because in this world of the Sector Lord, one spirit reading area was very small, and using spiritual force to search was easily detectable by the ferocious beasts. Hence usually, progress speeds were very slow. Using 1 or 2 years to complete the Universe Mercenary trainee exams was very normal. However, Luo Feng and his group moved extremely fast. Barbata, your security search ability is indeed a lot more convenient. Luo Feng complimented in his mind. This is something I took from the Yunmo planet ship. It won't emit anything within an area with a 20,000 kilometer diameter. Even sector lords cannot escape its search, much less these incomparably stupid beasts. Barbata was especially pleased with himself. The mountain forest was especially hard to travel. Luo Feng's 5-man team was completely unable to fly, because flying within the Long Suo Mountain Range was akin to becoming a target for all the beasts. The beasts' herds could look up and easily spot them. One had to know, these beasts could fly too. Then, with large numbers of herds and beasts surrounding and attacking, one wouldn't even be able to escape. Spending close to about 2 days of time, Luo Feng's team finally arrived at Demon Moon River. Demon Moon River. It was a vast and endless river. Surrounding it were large empty fields of land. A few trees were already smashed from having been trampled on. Obviously a large number of beasts usually frequented the river's surroundings. There are no beasts around. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. We can't do anything about it. We just have to slowly wait. Thunder God laughed. Waiting here would still be better than us rushing to the next spot that has the horned iron rhino herds. Our luck is not bad. Since coming to the Sector Lord's World of Thunder, we haven't had a true blood battle yet. Hong was very relaxed. Of course the main reason they haven't had a battle was due to Luo Feng's security surveillance device. They slowly waited. Within the World of Thunder, there were 9 sun-like balls during the day, and it was pitch black at night, only having a faint thread of light leaking down from above. Within the Demon Moon River forests, they waited. During the first night, Luo Feng and the others discovered 3 huge lizard-type ferocious beasts. During the second day, they discovered 3 groups of beasts. They even witnessed the terrifying scene of beasts fighting amongst themselves and killing each other. During the 6th day, the 9 balls of light floated high above in the world of thunder. Luo Feng and the other 4 patiently waited. We are hunters waiting for a rabbit. I never expected us to actually have to sit and wait. Thunder God sat on a branch of a tree, occasionally looking into the distance. You come down. If the horned iron rhino comes, I'll discover it immediately. Luo Feng looked up and smiled. There was some stewed meat on the ground. These were all preserved very well. Attention all. Luo Feng's expression grew serious. Beside him lay the sleeping Hong, along with Aogu, who was sitting cross-legged, and finally Tai Nan, he who was standing guard. They all swiftly looked over. What's the matter, Luo Feng? The others looked at him. The horned iron rhino has come. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. They've finally come. The group immediately stood up. Follow me. Luo Feng stepped on the soaring shuttle, leading the way swiftly through the forest. Even though there was a large number of trees and plants within the forest, Luo Feng's nimble movements never even touched a single one of them. Behind, Hong, Thunder God, Tai Nan He and Aogu swiftly followed. Very quickly the 5 arrived not far off from the lakeside. The horned iron rhino are arriving from that direction. Their speed isn't fast. They'll be here in about 5 minutes. Luo Feng pointed ahead. There's a total of 21 horned iron rhinos. After a while, beast after beast that looked like trucks appeared within their line of sight. Their rock-like skin was undoubtedly solid and sturdy. That piercing blade-like single horn reflected and gleamed with a chilly light under the sunlight from the 9 light balls above. Yet their eyes seemed gentle. The single-horned rhino was a very simple beast. These ferocious beasts, the reason why they were ferocious was mostly because of their low intelligence. Within the universe, the beasts were mostly sorted into 2 main categories: the demon beasts and the ferocious beasts. The demon beast race groups are directed towards species that have intelligence similar to that of the human race's student level. Like the beasts on Earth, they belong to the demon beasts. More matured demon beasts' intelligence weren't even lower than humans. As they had intelligence, hence in the vast universe, the demon beasts race was one of the extremely huge and powerful races. Ferocious beasts had strength, but low intelligence. They couldn't learn, be it brutal and savage, or gentle. Their common point was that they had low intelligence. Of course the beasts, besides the demon beasts and ferocious beasts, there were still the god beasts, like the space beasts that were also known as space god beasts. Damn, that horned iron rhino's power is very strong. Thunder God was looking at the screen on his arm. Its power level, it's very strong. It'd be hard for 5 of us to deal with it. We can only think of a way to separate them. After all, we just need 5 horns. Luo Feng communicated via spirit reading. Separate. These beasts have low intelligence. They should be easy to deceive. What method should we use? When Luo Feng's group was in soft discussion, Luo Feng's expression suddenly changed, saying softly, a small team of humans is swiftly approaching. They should have discovered the horned iron rhino's drinking water. As the Demon Moon River was a lake, there weren't any things obstructing its view. Even from far away, one could still see the beasts around it. A team of humans appeared within their line of sight. All of them were wearing the same black battle uniform, kill. Black terrifying silhouettes exploded with the fastest of speeds, creating air explosion sounds, directly rushing towards the herd of horned iron rhinos drinking water. The 21 horned iron rhinos fiercely raised their heads. The leader of the herd immediately let out a strong and angry roar. Everyone of the human team were incredibly calm, joining their hands and surrounding and attacking one horned iron rhino, killing it with the greatest speed. There were a total of 10 members in the team. They swiftly killed 4 of the horned iron rhinos, 9-star level 9 stages, 1-star level 2 stage. Luo Feng looked at his screen, softly saying, this little team, arranged for too many star level 9 stage warriors. The weaker one, I estimate he is probably the one with status, hence he brought so many underlings with him. Participating in the universe mercenary trainee test, this was extremely normal. One had to know 99% of the strong had all experienced this. Several large family heirs regarded this trainee mercenary exam as necessary, but for safety, they sent along a large group of star level 9 stage warriors. This was very normal. Even though the family insists on training their heirs, over the long periods of times, several rules and methods of teachings warped and resulted in the original intended motive being far from what it was. 9-star level 9 stages. They can definitely deal with the 21 horned iron rhinos. Hong said softly, "Damn, after waiting for so long, they get snatched away by some pampered heir." Thunder God cursed softly. It was displeasing. But against 9-star level 9 stage warriors, with proper preparation and coordination, what could their own little team do? They could only watch stupidly by the side. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Something good is coming. Something good. Thunder God looked suspiciously at Luo Feng. What good is there? We might be able to get our horns. Luo Feng looked anxiously at the distance. Kill. Kill all of them and collect all the horns, then we'll leave immediately. The white-skinned youth, wielding a long and narrow battle blade, was currently engaged in battle with the smallest built horned iron rhino. This little horned iron rhino's strength was only about a star level 1. He could indeed handle it without a problem, yes. The group of star level 9 warriors immediately complied. Fresh blood splattered all over. Raging howls and roars resounded. Beast after beast shook the earth as they fell to the ground. This group of horned iron rhinos' strongest was only about a star level 9, the others were all weaker. Against 9-star level 9 humans, they definitely were disadvantaged, losing more and more of their fellow beasts. Rumble, the earth shook violently. Howl. An enraged roar resounded from the forests. The earth began to tremble violently. The remaining 5 horned iron rhinos immediately roared excitedly. From not far off, a huge horned iron rhino's silhouette appeared. Not good, let's leave quickly. One of the 9 black-clothed underlings shouted, "Lord, over 50 single horned rhinos are rushing over. The leading few are all very powerful, let's leave. Quickly, protect the 9th prince well. Quickly." Immediately, one of the 9 black-clothed underlings hugged the 9th prince, stepping on a streamlined, huge blade-like flying spirit weapon, and escaped swiftly. And the other 8 underlings fled swiftly behind, seeing the remaining horned iron rhinos madly rushing at them. Roar. Roar. Large numbers of enormous horned iron rhinos rushed out, every one of them eyes scarlet, seemingly mad with rage. Over 50 horned iron rhinos. Obviously these were the mature males from the horned iron rhino herd, each madly stomping through the land of the forests, madly chasing after the group of black-clothed men. Luo Feng's team of 5 looked at the majestic group of horned iron rhinos madly chasing after the elite team, leaving behind the bodies of the remaining horned iron rhinos. Quickly. Luo Feng led the way and rushed out. "Ha ha, we got it so easily. Which empire is that 9th prince from? A basic level empire or from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire? I think he's from a family that probably only controls 1 or 2 basic level empires." Thunder God muttered. The group swiftly headed over the bodies of the fallow horned iron rhinos. Even though the group of black-clothed men had chopped off 10 horns, there were still 6 bodies with their horns intact. The soaring shuttle became a golden swordfish, immediately chopping off one of the horns from the forehead of a dead rhino. Hong, Thunder God, Tainan He and Aogu 2 swiftly cut off and obtained their horns. Roar. From the distance, among the group of rhinos chasing down the black-clothed men, there was one that turned and stared at Luo Feng's group, letting out an enraged howl. Immediately, over 20 horned iron rhinos turned and rushed madly towards them, against the same race of humans that had killed so many of their fellow beasts. They were filled with hatred. Hurry. Luo Feng urged. Luo Feng, about 12 kilometers away, a team of humans that were originally waiting by the river is approaching you very swiftly. I think they want to kill you all. Barbata warned Luo Feng in his mind. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.